Hey everybody, welcome to Reverse the Verse.
I would say I was really entranced by that stock music.
Yeah, I know.
It kind of put you in.
Well, and it switched it up midway.
Yeah, I spend a good 5 to 10 minutes, every week going through and looking for audio tracks from our stock music library that are just the right length and
like
can
that one
convey a sense of feeling. It's a current mood for this week.
I know everybody was complaining about it, but I really enjoyed it.
Well, sometimes that's the current mood, wanting to make people complain. So, hi everybody, welcome to Reverse the Verse. It's Friday, April 22nd, 2016. I'm your community manager, Jared Huckabee. With me as always is our Director of Community Engagement, Online Strategy and Spaceships, Mr. Ben Lesnick. Our subscription manager, Ms. Alexis Lesnick. She's got some cool stuff to show today. Yeah?
Yes.
Our editor, Mr. Justin Chambers. And behind the booth, Mr. Barbershop himself, Mr. Thomas Hennessy. And then I gotta learn how to point. No, don't. He's in blue today. Our other community manager, Mr. Tyler Wicken out of Boston. How you doing, Tyler?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Yeah.
As always.
I don't believe that for a second. So if you're just watching Reverse the Verse for the first time, Reverse the Verse is the Cloud Imperium Games community team's weekly informal live stream with the fans. We're going to chat a little bit about our week in review, cover some topics like our brand new MISC Prospector, and get an update on where our spaceships are, before we take some questions from our RSI chat on the robertspaceindustries.com website. So, Ben, you look like you had a busy, eventful week.
I think you had a busy personal week, I guess. I actually took a day off this week, so I was not in the office.
I know, it was lovely.
Every single day.
Did you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it?
I did. We went to the beach for the first time in like a year and a half.
We enjoyed it pretty much here.
I heard it was very quiet.
It was very quiet.
This whole week's been kind of quiet, though.
It's been so nice.
But in terms of work, the big thing of this, of course, was polishing off the Prospector for our kickoff today, which is already available in the store with a post from Turbulent and all sorts of cool stuff. People can go and look at what we were working on. We did the kickoff for the Origin 85X, the little guy that comes with the 890 jump.
Now talk about what a kickoff is.
Basically, it's when you get all the big designers in one place: Todd Pappy, Tony Zurvek, Chris Roberts, and they get their thoughts before a ship goes to a specific designer who specs out every single detail and then to an artist. For some ships like the 85X, it's a little bit different because we had a different process 2 years ago where we came up with this existing concept, and now we have to look at it under the new terms, say, okay, do we still want to do this? Do we still want to do this? How will this work? And now it's on its way into the universe now.
Yes. So we're still braining on it. It's not. It hasn't been assigned to an artist. It's not. We're not building it out yet.
No, one of the things we're trying to do right now, while we have some availability for some of our top designers, is do a bunch of kickoffs right now that will be taken up in later months. So it's not an indication that the 85 is coming right now. And in fact, I did 3 kickoffs this week. The other 2 I cannot talk about yet.
Yes. It's a good-looking ship, though.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love that image that Behavior did, where it looks like
the blue and it's coming out of the water.
I want that printed on a Trapper Keeper.
I also spent 15 minutes online looking for custom Trapper Keeper manufacturers, and apparently it is not a market that's out there.
That's what I was gonna say. Do people do?
I don't think people use binders anymore. I feel like kids in school use
laptops.
Kids with their computer machines.
I figured there had to be somebody out there, even on Etsy, who's doing custom Trapper Keepers.
You know what? Maybe this is my calling.
Maybe, because I would like an 85X Trapper Keeper. I went looking.
Why don't you write to our factory and at least they could do samples?
Yes. Yeah.
So what else did you do this week? You went to the beach on Wednesday?
I went to the beach, yeah. I used to go to the beach every year with my mom for my birthday, so it was nice. On Tuesday afternoon, I was like, let's go to the beach tomorrow. It's the first time I've ever done that at work, so nice.
I've been waiting.
You guys went to a nice beach, too.
Yes, Will Rogers State Beach, a little bit up from Santa Monica. It's a lot quieter. What else happened? We had a little party. We all went to see Jungle Book.
Oh my gosh, how incredible.
We went to see Jungle Book with Chris Roberts.
We all went. You guys saw on Twitter?
Zaddy was nice enough to organize a little get-together for my birthday, and we all went to see Jungle Book. It was fun.
Yeah. We went out to dinner first. You ate Chris Roberts' chili.
I did eat Chris Roberts'
We'll
chili.
save that for your part.
It was. Oh yeah, we'll save that for my ketchup.
But I got to sit between you and Chris Roberts watching you eat his chili. Like,
His chili was really good.
And then Ben showed Chris his new tattoo.
That was the best part. Chris asked me what my tattoo was, and I was like, it's from the Wing Commander movie.
And Chris, that was the first time I've ever seen Chris turn red.
But I don't know if he was just trying to figure out how to feel. Like
yeah. Let me paint the picture here. So I'm sitting here. Ben is across from me to the right. Chris is across from me to my left. Chris goes, "Hey Ben, what's that tattoo? What's that tattoo of?" And Ben goes, "Oh, why that's the Paladin's prisoner tattoo from the Wing Commander movie." And Chris I can't even approximate it. It's like you think Lando's got a stare. Well, Chris has a stare.
I don't think he said words.
No, he didn't say words. He just kind of looked at him like there was a glitch in the Matrix. And I'm sitting here going like, which one of you is more embarrassed right now? Is it you or him? No, it was a wonderful moment. I enjoyed it. Chris is delightful, especially in a social
I
setting.
always love being in those environments with him. Outside the office, people probably think it's a dream to kind of be here in the office with him, but I like being outside. He's just so different.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't know how to explain it. A good time.
No, Chris is a very hard man to describe to other people who,
Yeah,
who haven't spent a significant portion of time in his presence. But it's always great to spend time with Chris. It was really nice of him to come out.
And now he's gone.
And now he's gone.
Ripped from our
He's in-
souls.
Yeah, he's in UK for 5 or 6 weeks now. So
In the UK for 5 or 6 weeks, and he's coming back for a little bit, and then he's going back. And one of the hardest things in the world is to keep track of Chris Roberts' schedule. So, anything else to add for your week in review before we move on to?
nothing I can think of.
There's a party on Friday. Jungle Book was great. Go see it.
Go see it.
Go see it.
Mm-hmm.
We went for pancakes. and
Well,
stuff.
yes, to Toast.
Saturday morning.
Toast and Jed were nice enough to take me out to pancakes Saturday morning.
Yeah. And I didn't have to pay because all my credit cards were shut down.
Yes, it was.
So you took him out for pancakes.
I didn't know my credit cards were shut down.
And he had to pay for it?
No, Toast.
Toast.
Test paper.
Well, Toast is the lawyer.
And our cheat wicket is over, and so I no longer will eat food again, but it was nice, briefly. But, the diet's really working. Look at this.
I know,
I'm
look
like
at
all-
that. Really proud
I'm
of
all
you guys.
bag.
I'm all bag.
You're a bag man. All right, Alexis. Oh, I'm hearing sound. Oh, I hit a button.
No,
I
we
hit a
can't do
button.
Tyler.
We heard
All right.
ourselves.
We heard ourselves. This is what we sound like. That's terrible.
Wait, you're on me.
Oh, I'm on your thing. All right, Alexis.
Yes.
What did you do this week?
Well, Sandy and I kicked off the week by going on a very long journey to check out another warehouse for shipping, and so that was about 4 hours total in the car there and back. And
You guys went to the 909.
yeah, we keep a couple weeks ago we went to a different warehouse that we thought was pretty far, and then I believe after an hour and a half each way to this newest warehouse, we realized that one was nothing. So we had a good time, and we got some new samples for merchandise that we're doing this week. Working on setting up the next Concierge Bar Citizen. We just started doing some planning for that, so we'll have more info in the coming weeks. So a little bit of everything this week.
And do you want to show off any of the stuff, or do
You want me to
you want to do
grab
it
it?
later?
You can show it off now.
Okay.
Show off the patches, just the patches.
No, she took the patches in.
Did she? Oh, she was going to take a picture of them.
Yeah, there's no patches.
All right. Well, then
well,
never mind.
watch
Then never
Sandy's
mind.
Facebook
That
later.
thing
Yes,
that we
look
wanted
at
to show
Sandy's.
is
Look
in
at
here.
Sandy's Facebook. It'll
Yes.
probably be on there later. Anyway, we got some samples for manufacturer patches that we're gonna do. So they turned out pretty nicely.
They were cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adding the color, I think, was the right
Yeah,
choice.
definitely. Thank
Justin.
you for doing that.
Oh, you're very welcome. I like to do creative stuff sometimes. Justin, what'd you do this week?
I did my usual. We had a couple extra 10 for the chairman, so I was able to catch up on that. So we did an extra one because Chris was going to be gone, so they'll get their last one on Monday. ATV, the regular stuff, and then hung out with you guys a lot, which was always a great time. So, been busy though. Been good. It's been a good week though. So, that's pretty much.
Thomas, what'd you do this week? He's just staring at me.
Surprisingly, he hasn't seen Barbershop yet, which is so odd to
wow.
me.
Yeah, I watched Barbershop 1, Barbershop 2, and Beauty Shop
Yeah, you did your homework.
the evening before we went out so that I would be ready to converse with you. And then,
So now you're ready to see the new one?
yeah, then you didn't show up.
And
for
then
dinner.
Tom didn't show up for dinner. And then I saw him standing outside the theater like a lost dog. And I'm like, aren't you going to come inside and hang out with us? And he's like, well, I don't want to just come in if I didn't eat. I'm like, Tom, you're not a stranger. Just come on. Like, he was all spiffed up in his button down, fresh face.
He was very clean. He was so fresh and so clean.
So that was Tom's week in review.
Hey, Tyler, rescue the segment. What'd you do this week?
It was a really productive week. We started it out on Saturday when we came in and live streamed painting this green screen, which is a lot better than it was. Now I can move around and it doesn't break everything. And I think Chris just walked up to the door and it looks like we have some lights. So we're going to put some better lighting in here. So going forward, the MVP segments should be a little higher quality and some other stuff coming out of Austin. Other than that, pretty much the usual stuff throughout the week. I've been gathering a lot of beauty screenshots for the upcoming 2.4 release. So some stuff for the release post and jazz like that, which is super exciting. I love getting to do stuff like that. So yeah, just same old, same old.
And 2.4 is looking like a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay. No, we can't talk about 2.4. I took it off the boxes after last week's 2.4 debacle.
2.4
no talking about 2.4 this week because you guys failed me so miserably last week. I took it off the boxes.
Well, we can say we're not going to PTU today, but they're working on it.
Yeah. What did I do this week? I left my hat at home. People are talking about.
You've been hatless most of the
I've been
week.
hatless most of the week.
Yeah,
Well,
I like it.
this
well,
week,
it's because it's
though,
growing back. The hat,
I like
the hat
it.
was only because I shaved my head when I got sick and it was hot, and then I
mean,
saw what I looked
there's-
like bald, and I'm like, oh no. So I looked exactly like my father, bald. So I wore a hat until my hair grew back enough that it's coming back in.
I feel like you go in hat phases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
There you
it
go.
better without the hat,
Yeah.
though.
No, I wear the hat when I'm not happy with my hair. That's basically what that. It's a binary state.
By the way, I saw this picture of you. I don't know where I saw it a long time ago. Like, it looked like you were like a college football player or something in one of those
High school.
jackets. Oh, was that high
It's a
school?
Letterman jacket.
A full
Letterman.
head of black hair, luxurious and everything.
All skinny and I had a
Skinny
jaw.
and- yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
Back when
who
you had a
is this
jaw.
guy?
There was a day I was attractive to women. It was
My favorite picture?
It was 1996.
Lando, that picture of you with the big chops from your theater performance. Which one was that? You know which one I'm talking about. You even had the curl in front.
Oh, Scrooge in Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I receded my hair back. I shaved my hair back and left the big old baby Huey on there, and then had big old mutton chops and
feel
I
like
bleached the
more
whole
people
thing.
should rock that look.
Yeah. And I used lightning blue or lightning white.
Lightning white.
Lightning white, and I bleached all the hair on my head and all my facial hair was all white, and it was. It's on the Twitters, I think.
It's on internet somewhere.
It's on the internets.
On the internet.
Find all kinds of pictures
guys
of me
heard
in
of the
various
internet?
repos.
You there? Go on
So
internet.
this week, this week I actually got to spend some time out of the office this week, so that was nice.
Anybody break into your car?
Yes,
You know, I didn't know if you were going to be like bothered by that.
yes.
Wait, somebody
And I hope
broke
that you
into your
weren't.
car?
No, I was incredibly bothered by it until I realized what it was.
Okay.
So without going into too many details, I've had some doctors visit this week. So I took some time off in the mornings to go to some various places, and one of the days I came out to my car. It was yesterday.
Yeah.
It was yesterday. I come out to my car, and there's this giant package on my front seat. And I'm like, what the f-? And I'm like, the door's locked. I'm like, God damn it. I don't know why it made me so angry, but it did. And the reason there's something on the driver's seat is because one of my doors doesn't lock. It's just like nope. You hit the power locks and it's like, whatever, dude. It just never locks. And these people, because they carpool with me, they know which door never locks. So they used it and got in. So they put a incredibly thoughtful and personal gift on my driver's seat that that only someone who knows the intimate nature of our relationship would even understand.
Oh my
Why
gosh,
don't
I'm
we
getting
have
like
that with us?
emotional a little bit. Did you guys wait? That's so nice.
It's a Star Wars Rebels Inquisitor alarm clock.
Oh,
It's not.
okay.
It's the exact opposite of what I'm saying. It's the crap they could get on Amazon Prime
put
now.
Thought into that.
I was like, oh, that's so sweet.
We knew you would appreciate it.
I knew you were in the doctor's
So,
office.
We
a
knew you
lot.
liked the Star War. And
Yes, I have been known to fan about the Star War. So most of my week was medical stuff, but we some work on the prospector stuff that was cool. That was good. Pushed another episode of ATV, which is good. The Brian Chambers, man, the Brian Chambers experience. If you haven't watched it, watch it. You know, you don't interview Brian Chambers. You just ask him a question. You get out of his way. It's the same thing with Chris Roberts.
And you let it wash over you.
Yeah, you know, and you know, different interviewers are different. You know, different interviewees require different tacks, and some people you have to sit there, and you have to coax, and you have to guide the conversation. Like with Aaron Roberts, you saw the Aaron Roberts interview. I took him from point to point to point to point to point. With Brian Chambers, you just get out of the way. Like, hey Brian, talk about yourself.
Yeah.
And you just get out of the way.
I do
He's
have to
like,
say,
why I love talking about myself.
with the,
And
it
he
was
talks
one
about
of the
himself.
easiest interviews I've ever cut, and it was actually rather fun watching.
Because
at
you
the
didn't cut it, you just put me there, and just let the whole thing go.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Oh my.
The walkout.
So that was my week. All right. So the big thing about this week is the missed prospector. So let's go ahead and go to the second section. Thomas, thank you so much. He's in there playing guitar. I can see him in there.
I think we should have sound effects to go from subject
I
to
told him he should be the in-house band.
Yeah.
We still need a live studio audience
So
one day.
nope, we lost our overlay.
Oh no.
There it goes.
No,
All
no.
right. So the missed prospector, Ben, take us through it.
It's here, the Missed Prospector, a spaceship.
I'm weirdly into the prospector. I didn't expect to be into a mining ship, but I think it's super cool.
No, that's cool. No, the idea was what is the smallest possible mining ship you could do? One person could operate themselves. Last year we did the very big career ships. What is the most science ship we can do? What is the most mining ship we can do? What's the most reclaiming ship we can do? And now we're kind of going back and like, okay, you're going to start in a RAR. You're probably going to work up to a 300 type ship. Then something. Then you kind of have to make a choice. Do you go for the first military ships, or do you go for the first? You want to be a miner, a freighter captain, whatever. So we're looking at that level right now for the career ship. So this is the first mining ship that you would kind of graduate to once you've decided that you want that to be your career in the verse.
Now this was concepted here in-house in the UK.
Yes,
Our in-house
Foundry
developers.
42 UK. Paul Jones and those guys did an amazing job. They took they really took all the design language from the Reliant and the Freelancer, and they put it together into something really cool. Along with our various cargo mechanics and stuff, we've worked out now.
A little bit of space. 1999,
Yes.
Early in the process.
Yeah,
Early in
there's
the
certainly some
process.
eagle in there, and there's a couple of the early concepts that look very eagly. The very, very first concept, which I loved and Chris Roberts hated, and he hated it for good reasons. But it was...
He always hates something for good reasons.
Yeah, that's the thing about Chris Roberts. Like, oh my god, he wants changes. And like, oh, wait a minute, these all make perfect sense.
Yes.
That's the Chris Roberts experience. But the very first one looked like, if anybody out there's played Space Quest 3, you have the aluminum mallard. The ship Roger Wilco has to find the parts and escape from the drunk dealership at the start of the game. Looked exactly like that, except it was orange. So it was total Ben bait.
Yes. Although I did like it when it was orange, though.
I thought it was cool orange. The other thing I should say about the Prospector is you folks have probably noticed, and actually maybe you didn't notice, there's a Shubin careers site on the RSI site. We found out this morning that our advertising is so effective that if you have ad block on, it blocks the in-site ads for the fake mining site. I asked Resistance Scott at Turbulence, like, oh, where's the link to the Shubin career thing? And like, what do you mean? It's right there between the two sections. Like, no, there's nothing. And we went back and forth for a while, and our ad block has already figured out how to block our own ads on our site. So I had them add a text link to the body of the post, which is not as sexy, but doesn't get randomly deleted by your browser. And you'll see there's a form where you can generate your mining profile. We are saving all that data. We're going to award Orion mining platforms to our 5 favorite submissions. The way it works is that the latest one you've submitted will be the one we see. So in a week or so, when we'll announce the date on the site, we'll take everybody's submissions, read through them, and pick our 5 favorite miners, and we'll award them Orions on ATV.
And just to be clear, when you're saying Orions, you mean the big giant spaceship?
The big giant spaceship, yeah.
Big giant mining spaceship.
We're
giving away 5 big giant Orion spaceships.
Mm-hmm. That's that dream mining ship.
So, go and click the buttons and fill out the thing.
Yeah, come up with an interesting story for your guy.
Yes. And who's going to read through them all, Ben?
You!
Tyler!
One of my favorite things we used to do.
Yes, when we would sit around and
look at contests.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, so that sounds fun.
Yeah, I don't know how to read. What are you doing?
I have noticed that about you.
I was patting his head because you said he was going to do it, so I was like,
No.
oh, poor Tyler. Pat.
All right then. So the big focus of the Prospector is that it is it's keyed towards planetary mining, which is one thing that we did not necessarily know we were going to be able to do when we did the Orion. The Orion goes into asteroid fields and collects space goo and all that. Now that we have these procedural planets that are coming together really, really, really well, we can have land on the planet. You mine, you search for veins, and you mine stuff. So that's one of the big things that the Prospector does that the Orion doesn't.
It can still be used in asteroid fields and in space.
Yes. Todd was saying that if an asteroid is too small, it's probably not worthwhile. You can still do it, but it wants larger bodies.
Yeah. And Tony was talking about some EVA aspect of it too.
Yes, this did not make it into the post because he was just
just coming up with the idea. So it's like flesh it out more.
It's actually not something that's just come up with. It's part of the whole planetary design they have. But you're supposed to be able. You can now get out of the ship and you can have like a handheld mining, and you could find like I don't know what do you mine that's really valuable. Space diamonds or something. So you you're right into this especially valuable small thing. So it's going to have the ability to store that also.
Very cool. Very cool. And we still have that mining careers page that we did back for the Orion, right?
Yes, I linked to the mining careers page in the new post. So if you missed that when we did the Orion, we've got our design spec. We had the guys in Germany look over it, make sure everything is still accurate, and they said, "Oh yes, this is how we're doing it." So, good.
All right. So the Miss Prospector on sale now for
$140.
$140. Go check out the page and apply to be a Shubin miner. You have a chance to win an RSI Orion.
Yes, and the last thing you submit will always be the one that's saved, so you can overwrite, and we won't see the previous one.
Yes. So keep that in mind, though. When you have the awesome one, don't go and make another one. Get the one that you want and stop, because you can't enter more than once. You can only enter once, and it will be the most recent one.
Did you say keep that in mind?
I don't think he did, but that is fantastic.
Good.
He should have said that.
Yes.
All right. So with that in mind, we're going to move on to Where's My Spaceship? I just did it again. With that in mind, we're going to go to Where's My Spaceship? Hey, Ben?
Yeah.
I've got the question that's on everybody's mind.
What is that question?
Where's my spaceship?
I hate you so much. I'm going to buy you so many Inquisitor clocks. Will any of them work? None of them will work.
So, do we have an update on the Orion? We were just talking about the Orion.
We do not have an update on the Orion. It's out there in the schedule, but we haven't had it yet.
Right. For those of you who weren't here at the beginning, the 85X has had its design review.
The design review this week on the 85X.
That's just brain stuff and text stuff. We're not building it just yet.
I misused the word tandem during the meeting, and I felt really embarrassed. Okay. If you guys want to know what gets to me.
Work on the Herald and the Caterpillar continues.
Yes, it does.
We will have a ship shape with Josh Coons on the Herald in next week's ATV.
Oh, okay.
Technically, that's for the looking ahead, but we're in the Where's My Spaceship. So get your Herald update next week. We're working on getting a video update for the Caterpillar.
Mm-hmm. We've got a couple of shots of the internals in the subscriber vault right now if people want to.
Mm-hmm. The Caterpillar has some cool new functionality, even since the last time we saw it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the whole ship overlay part. You can see all the doors that are open.
Yeah.
It seems like such a simple thing, but I really like that.
And Chris Smith is continuing work on the Hornet F7A.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything we can say about the F7A?
Not yet. Just we are getting it up to spec for Squadron 42. Squadron's coming along, and it needs a hero ship.
Yep. And I talked to Chris Smith about it a little bit. He said this is like the 2946. It's like this year's version of the Hornet F7A. So it's very sleek. It looks really cool. And just in it's still in a very early stage, but even just in its shape language, it's still easily identifiable as a Hornet, but you can tell it's newer.
Yeah, and folks who have the F7A Hornet skin, or not skin, it's like a body upgrade.
Yeah, the body
we'll
kit.
Get that geometry, yeah. Which we did for charity a couple years ago.
I had to answer so many CS tickets about that.
Yes. Let's for the 500,000 people that we've gained since then. Can you just drop that little bit? Can we talk a little bit about what that is?
This was an upgrade we did. You guys know how if you can't afford a Ferrari or a Porsche or something, you can get like a Ferrari body kit that you put over your Honda so it looks like fancier car. It was essentially that for the Hornet, and we did it as for a veterans charity back in I want to say 2014.
14.
And it basically makes your F7C look like an F7A, and we'll have that worked out once.
Yep. You'll still have the hard points of the F7C. Mm-hmm. You'll still have the performance of the F7C,
except where geometry defines performance, like which is in some areas.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And yeah, interesting. Not interesting, but
did you say interesting?
Yeah, did you say interesting?
You said interesting.
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 If you remember Dan Giesling, our community ambassador on TNG, he actually helped put together. I just remember this now. He was the one who helped put together the post about the charity thing, and he did the fiction behind it. Because he was here, he wanted to see how we did community management, and that was the first time we got to meet him, and it was fun. He did a good job writing.
Yeah, I was hanging out with him on stream 2 days ago.
He's a good guy. I see it all over the Star Citizen Reddit.
Dan Giesling.
So remember when everybody was like, "That guy's not our community ambassador." Hey, he's stuck with Star Citizen through the years. So
the year and a half.
Yeah. All right. So that's it for Where's My Spaceship? Thanks for playing along, guys. We'll see you next week with another edition of Where's My Spaceship. We're moving along to question and answers. Questions and answers. This is how this works. Go to RSI, the RSI website, robertspaceindustrials.com, and go to the general chat and enter your questions there. Please preface your question with the word question in capital letters surrounded by brackets. That's how we're going to tell it apart from all the other conversations that are going on in RSI chat.
My books.
Oh, yeah. So we're looking at questions here. Hey, right off the bat, Wiz of Odds. Hold on, let me turn off my auto scroll here. Wiz of Odds says, on yesterday's ATV, it was mentioned that the Reliant and Starfire Gemini were being tested for possible inclusion in 2.4. Was that a correct statement in regards to the Gemini, Ben?
Yes, it was.
I love how Jared's delivery of the question was so epic, and then Ben just was so quick.
I set him up for that. They've
got a flow.
When we're on, he knows what I'm setting him up for, and vice versa. So yes, there's no guarantees right now, but they are working on both the Reliant and the Gemini for inclusion in 2.4. So.
I did a Wing Commander.
That was your weekend review, Ben.
Yes,
well, I forgot about it.
I'm sorry.
No, I got 2 Wing Commander novels in Russian.
Oh, wow.
I used the Russian version of Amazon, which is called Ozon, and they shipped them here in like 4 days, and it's really exciting for me.
Ozon.
Remember that part where I said about how we're in Simpatico, and then he pulls this crap.
No,
that's 3 boxes ago.
The back of it's got the manuals from Wing Commander 1 and 2, like
just
printed in the
keeps
back of the
going.
novel. It's free to play and end run. For some reason, they both have the cover art to Wing Commander 3, but with like weird stuff photoshopped on top of it. This is what I live for.
I was just gonna
Can
say
I
this
see
is the
it?
kind of stuff you live for.
Yes.
Can I-
It
Yeah.
is, yes.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
And it arrived during his day off, and he was like, throughout the day, hey, remember, you got the DHL.
Wait,
package
why are
coming."
they different covers?
They're different books.
Oh.
So here's the, so Tuesday I was like, oh, we'll
love
go
you
to the
so
beach,
much.
and you were so excited, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute, my DHL package is getting here tomorrow. I'm like, but I already told my wife we'd take
Yeah,
it.
and you also wound up having a meeting. It was
Yes,
like
at a meeting.
it was like a classic moment where I was ready to leave, and Ben comes out and he's like, "Hey, do you think it's okay if we leave at 10:30? Because I just remembered I have a meeting."
Taking a day off from here is harder than it looks.
It is.
There's a reason, I've been here for 14 months. I've never taken a full day off, the complete day off. There's always something you want to get in here and follow up on. So,
I remember dealing with like forum moderation right before my wedding. Eric Peterson
Yes.
called me and he was like, "You got a bad barracuda. He's being such a jerk to me." And I'm like 2 minutes away from walking outside and getting married.
Oh my goodness. Allie, did you know that was happening?
Not until afterwards.
She would have been so mad at you, Ben.
Sempus Rythorn asks, can you go into greater detail about the ATV fast forward? The AI work looks pretty nice. Also, what was that area that was shown? The ATV fast forward this week was the continuing development on AI subsumption, specifically the perception system. So when you see the different, there's text on the thing, so I mean you can read what each line does. But like the blue line is what is they can hear you, and that's where they think you are based on hearing. The yellow line is where they see you, where they actually physically know you are. The red line is where they saw you, but they can't see you now. So this is where they're thinking you are based on where they last saw you and what they can hear and stuff. It's very cool. It works on multiple levels. As far as the actual level, I don't know what the level is.
I think it's
It's a gas station.
It's a gas station.
It's a gas, like not like it's a yes. It's a where they yes.
Yes. Well,
Yep.
yeah, it's a gas station.
So the big challenge for any AI, it's very easy to make an AI that will always get you.
Yes.
People are like, oh, the AI is stupid. The great challenge is to make AI stupid.
Yes.
If I'm a computer, I'm like, okay, X is Jared and Jared is always this. I could always know where to shoot him. I can get him every time. The goal is to simulate AI characters who have some limits to their perception, who make mistakes, but then that's
Are still
the way we're doing it.
challenging.
Yeah.
They can make the mistakes, but they have corrective measures so they can adjust for that and stuff. So it's very cool the work they're doing on the AI stuff, which I believe is being spearheaded primarily in Frankfurt now.
It is Frankfurt now.
Yeah, so it's super exciting. That day when we have all the AI in ArtCorp, that'll be a great day when it truly feels like a living, breathing place. And you can go through and watch everybody's little individual stories going on.
I know Frankfurt
So,
is great
to be more
for Star Citizen Tech.
To be more specific, that level it's the vertical slice level for Squadron 42, which they basically take a vertical slice of the entire game that has every little aspect of the campaign and have it in one level just for testing purposes. And so it is a gas station where they basically have all the different Squadron 42 features jam-packed.
So if you love military flight simulator shooters and you love gas stations,
Who doesn't?
There will be no burritos.
Gas stations.
People from Pennsylvania love gas
Gas
stations.
stations are
Yes.
cool places.
but what's the giant gas station in Texas?
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's. It has the cleanest bathrooms on the
I want to
planet.
visit this place.
Yeah.
I have a weird
I want a
affinity
shirt.
for giant, like,
It's amazing.
gas station
they
truck
have
stops.
I was in Colorado and they had they have a very popular gas station that I can't say on the air because it's very weirdly titled.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. Yeah, the Buc-ee's they have an attendee that stands in the bathroom, and every time somebody goes in and they leave, the attendee goes in and cleans every single person.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Why are you listening to Tyler like you're a 10-cent DJ?
I know.
10 cent? Why can't it be at least 50
Oh
cent?
my god.
Hopper Mantis wants to know, when will we hear an inkling of information about the Oratani system, before or after release? Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't know what the Oratani system is. So
I know what it is, but I don't know when you're going to hear about it. It's decision's up to Laura.
Oh, gotcha. So, Vacation asks, Tavaran race?
In
Yes.
the works, Chris Olivia is doing the race creation.
Gotcha. Will the Prospector have any special docking capabilities, i.e. ways to offload mine cargo to the mothership?
Yeah, I believe the pods in the back come right off.
Gotcha. That just reminded me that we need to move the Q&A thread to someplace where people can actually post to it.
That would make sense.
So there is a Q&A thread, guys. It's going up in the official announcements. As soon as I can find it and move it there. There we go. So we will be doing, Ben, talk about when we're doing our Q&A while I do this, because I can't talk and click at the same time.
We do our Q&As on Wednesday and Friday of next week. So if you have a question for the designers behind the Mystic Prospector, post it to the forums, and we will consider it for inclusion. We usually do 10 to 15 questions per A pile.
Per A session?
A session. And yeah, it's always fun.
Keep going. I'm almost done.
Well, there's no other things to say about what days
All right.
the thing is happening.
The Q&A post is in official announcements right now.
So get your
yeah.
questions in for the A sesh.
So official announcements section, post your questions. I'm just making it highlighted so it shows up. There you go. Okay. See, it's a very well crafted post. And for whatever reason, it's in quote. Why is it in quote?
I was wondering that.
Hold on.
Watch us use a forum.
This is why I'm the community
If
manager.
you're on the forums
We
right
don't
now,
have a
you can actually
sidebar
see us
section
be
for this part.
interactive.
Nope, we don't have a sidebar section for Jared remembers to do his job. You're witnessing Jared remembers to do his job. All right, so that's up there now. So back to the questions. What else do we got? P-Tong, the mechanic, asked, did I get here on time?
Yes, you did.
Depends on what you're here for.
Couple questions, we're going to combine them. Any updates about the possibility of CCU downgrades? We haven't talked about that in a while.
No updates on that. We're focusing more on getting the stuff into the economy in the game right now. My guess is it's by the time we would be able to have folks working on that it just wouldn't matter because we won't have CCUs at all.
Gotcha. Here's a question we may or may not have the answer to. That military body kit we were talking about, the
Yes.
F7A, can that only be applied to the F7C, or can it be applied to a Ghost?
I believe it's
Tracker,
any of the Hornets.
even the Super Hornet?
I think it was all three, if I'm remembering the Q&A from back then, but it was so long ago.
Sure.
We'll
I'm not
check
sure.
it. We'll check it out.
We're gonna check. Yeah, don't take that as gospel.
Yeah.
I feel like
So-
it was just the F7C.
And we'll tune in next week. We'll see if we have
Or maybe
a more definitive
maybe
answer.
somebody out there in chat knows.
Well, sorry. Mr. Voltog says, didn't hear about the Reliant. What's up with it? What's up with the Reliant? Hopeful inclusion in 2.4.
Yeah, Reliance very, very close. In fact, we saw some screenshots yesterday that Tyler took of the cockpit that looked so flipping cool.
Yeah.
Veclor asks, with CR in the UK, will we see another 10 for the artist? You will see 10 for the developers. That was one of the better ideas that Thomas Hennessy had, and I'm still super proud of him for it to this day, where we take
Oh,
people
here it
from the
comes.
different
Oh my goodness
from the different
Is it coming?
Yeah,
what's the word I'm
pulled
looking
him
for?
out of
Disciplines, from the different disciplines,
the
and
cave.
combine them together to get a more robust Q&A. So I think we'll continue with the developers.
And Eric Davis will be the next one. with that.
Mark Skelton and Eric Davis will be the next one.
There's a
and,
pair.
And
Omar Oweda and Adam Weezer following up.
yep. And then Omar and Adam. So we'll get some artists in there. We'll get some designers. We'll get some engineers. We'll get some producers. So we like mix them up. I think we get much better
That'll be in the looking.
result when we mix them up. So 10 for the developers.
But that won't be for a few weeks. A couple weeks.
Yeah, we've got a Chris Roberts one next week, and then the other two that were just described the following 2 weeks.
Jiru asks, what does Disco's shirt look like?
What does it look like?
It's like an old pulp novel cover. I was seduced by the dark side. It's all pulpy and got a
I
lady.
think that's my favorite T-shirt of yours.
A lady with I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a good one.
If you
What does
count
it say
like
at
the
the
7
top?
shirts that I cycle through, I wear this one probably more often than others. What does it? I can't see what it says at the top because my head.
Let me see.
I have neck problems.
It says quicker, easier, and more seductive.
Just
You
like
just
me.
watched Justin caress Disco Land.
I don't know why my fingers had to follow. It was just one of those shirts that were like,
Just, you know what? It happened.
you know, okay, there you go.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, I see somebody asking about the patches.
Oh yeah. Did you say
They got their 5-patch set. Is there a manual how to apply them? It's just an iron-on.
Yes.
You can iron-on or sew them. If you just Google ironing on patches, I'm not sure if you need to put something over when you put the iron on them or what, but
I will tell you what I did with mine. I got the original Army Navy advocacy patch, and I got them put on hats like the old military hats. I Googled embroidery.
didn't you take them
Yeah,
somewhere?
I Googled embroidery and took them to an embroidery place, embroidery / seamstress place, and just gave them and said, "Would you put these on like someone who knows how to do it?" And it was like $8. It was
But you can also iron them, or they
Yeah.
come with a little sewing kit.
yeah. I think with a hat, when you do a hat
With
because
hat,
it's curved,
yeah.
the iron,
Yeah.
you don't risk it'll pop up.
Yeah.
And
I've seen people turn their shirts inside out and iron like on the thin side.
Oh,
against
that makes
it.
sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, you
Yeah,
know,
iron it from the back then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Zarello asks, "Can you please expand on why the word concept is being used by the devs when they talk about the Caterpillar?"
I guess what's the context?
Well, I think what so they're still making concept art. We're seeing Sandy's been sharing concept art of the interior.
Oh yeah, we're concepting out the interior.
Yeah, because we're still concepting out the entire interior. They do their art in 3D in one, but it's not being built into CryEngine just yet. So they're still developing it, doing paint overs, figuring out lighting schemes and color palette and stuff like that. So and then even on the outside, there's been some minor changes. Things got bigger, things got wider and whatnot. So they're reconcepting the stuff that fills in all that stuff. So yeah, it's concept. Concept isn't just something that happens at the very beginning and then you stop.
You can continually do a little bit more concept throughout, especially for some of those earlier ships where we didn't do the interior at the same time as the exterior.
Exactly. Yeah, it's basically it's all the work that you do before you build it is concept in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Nope asks, "How is Gurmok? Hope he is fine now." Gurmok's doing great now.
Yeah, doing.
He's back at
He's
the
back at the
office.
office. He's been at his desk all week. Very happy he's here. I missed Gurmok.
He's got such a positive
Yes.
spirit about
Yeah,
him.
he is like
Did you read
180
that long
degrees from
message he wrote on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
That was like
Yeah, Gurmok is happy and positive and physically active.
He's like the anti-Jared.
He is the anti-Jared, and I adore him for that. So I'm a big fan of Gurmok. In the Wujen asks, "In the Prospector post, you talk about an Orion variant that can refine minerals. Does this mean the original Orions we bought cannot process minerals?"
No, that's the variant. The one with the refinery. We sold that in the initial sale, didn't we?
That's not a variant. That's a ship.
It's the Orion with the factory thing.
Yeah, he's saying, is there a variant of the Prospector called an Orion? Is what I think he's asking. I don't
No.
know what
I think the text references the fact that there are different Orion variants,
Gotcha.
but it's referring to the one that we've already done.
Gotcha. I've not actually seen the final text of the post, so. With this week's, James Schaubs asks, "With this week's Fast Forward, are there plans of having an Vandal Swarm FPS style test to help test FPS AI? Like a Vandal Swarm mode, but for AI, like something for Star Marine down the road."
Oh, I
don't
wouldn't
know.
know.
I don't know what the answer to that is.
Yeah. Sorry.
Can Ben actually speak Russian?
No, I cannot. My family's Russian on one side, but I don't speak it. But I love the international. I tracked down the Czech translations of the Wing Commander novels and the German ones because they have different cover art and the little changes. It's I don't know. I'm boring, I guess, but it's fun.
I think everybody has their passion for something.
Somebody's name who I can't possibly pronounce because it has numbers in the middle. What controller setup are you guys going to be using for Squadron 42 when it's in the release PU? Gamepad, HOTAS, keyboard and mouse?
Ooh, Chris answers this question.
I'm a gamepad guy, personally. I've spent so many years as a console peasant now. I've just become used to it.
I'll always fly with the HOTAS, but I do like the gamepad for walking around.
Yeah, that's the thing. It just becomes a thing. I'm personally annoyed by having to switch. It's just a personal thing. So I tend to gravitate towards a gamepad because it can be used for everything. And I don't talk to people online, so I don't need the keyboard. But yeah, you're a big HOTAS guy. You won't even. Yeah, when we do our Wing Commander streams, he sits there. And he goes, "Okay, test this." But we're doing. He does the keyboard and he destroys everything on the keyboard. He just runs through the levels. He's all right. Now bring me my joystick. It's like he's absolutely capable of annihilating the game on the keyboard and the keyboard alone. But he's always like, "No, bring me the joystick." And then we couldn't get that joystick working. I'm like, "Well, you just use the keyboard." No, I need a joystick, and we had to go get another joystick. So Ben's big on the joysticks.
I mean, ideally, I would have an original Thrustmaster F-22 and a TQS and rudder pedals, but
yeah.
What
about you, Tyler?
Well, the cool thing about the gamepad, at least for me, with social aspects of the game, is the variable movement with the thumbsticks, so you can like walk really slow and then speed up really, and so I like that. Mostly probably mouse and keyboard plus gamepad for me, swapping between the two.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like most about this, is our efforts towards being controller agnostic.
There's no wrong answer.
No, maybe a wrong answer for you, but no wrong answer for everybody. No right answer. There's a right answer for you. There's a right answer for you. There's a wrong answer for you.
There's no right answer for Justin.
Yeah, there's no right answer for Justin.
Yeah. Sorry,
what's your shirt say?
It says. Oh my God,
we're running over the mics.
Oh no.
Okay. Lando, how do you?
To show your shirt is over.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Lando, how do you feel about Ben ignoring the boxes?
What box am I ignoring?
Does he even know what boxes he's ignoring?
Oh, those boxes?
No, they're going back to
the hell with those boxes.
We're 4 boxes away from the weekend review when you pulled out your.
Yeah.
We're behind because I turn off auto scroll so I can keep all the questions. Will it be Lord Cryptman asks, will it be possible to overload your ship? Maybe your cargo room in the Connie is full, and you found a little place between turrets to store some boxes?
I suppose so. I mean, if there's space.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm curious about too. We'll find out when the cargo system comes online, I suppose.
Well, because we have 2 different concepts of cargo. There's that basic, here's one SCU of cargo, and it's a box that fits in a particular space. But then you have personal cargo, weapons and ammo and whatever you carry with you, and that seems like stuff you could cram other places. We'll see how they get it working.
Ed Harrington asks, will you guys make the Lore Maker's Guide from ATV 2.5 its own video in the future like you did the other ones? Yes. It's actually already broken out. It's staged up on our YouTube. A lot of the things like the witch glitches are broken out. Things like Lore Makers are broken out. Wonderful World is broken out. Big ticket interviews like Aaron and Brian Chambers are already broken out. We release them on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays when there's not a Bug Smashers a couple weeks later. So it's just so it's easy to find on its own in the future without having to remember which episode of ATV something was in.
You gonna break out the potato report?
We will not break out the potato report. I don't know what the deal with the potatoes were, but whoever did them, no, leave the potatoes where they're at.
Okay.
Potatoes already had their spotlight on ATV.
Potatoes have a limited life. I feel like
potatoes
we could get another.
No, the potatoes are scary.
Yeah.
We were talking about getting Toast to eat his potato live on our TV, but
oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Then we forgot.
Luxor is fishing for information, Ben. With the Prospector, you announced we will now see other small career ships. For which professions can we expect such a career ship next?
No. No, you're gonna see some, I think, Drake stuff next. It's not. It's piratey stuff coming next.
Kieran Akari asks, I just got here. Where is Lando's dad? All right.
Oh, yeah, where is your dad?
All right. So when my dad texts me, I get a red haze. It's like just. My dad is asking me Star Citizen stuff again, and then when he says, "Hey, when can I come down?" I start hearing that siren like in Kill Bill. I could turn to Beatrix Kiddo. So I was in a weird headspace when I was like, "No, this can't be happening." And then this guy goes, "Hey, he could be on RTV," and my dad secretly trolls Twitter, so he saw that and went and booked a ticket. Right there, and then sent me a thing. Son, I booked the ticket. I'm on my way, and I took all that to mean, oh my god, this is happening so fast. This must be this Friday. Well, I didn't look at the ticket. The ticket is actually for the 29th, so he'll be here next Friday. So I was
another week to get ready.
I have another week to dread.
Does your dad watch RTV?
No, my dad doesn't know what RTV is.
Oh, we should tell your dad about RTV.
Well, no, he knows what RTV is. He knows RTV is a thing that he can be on. And Huckabees are anything if not attention whores. So without knowing what RTV is,
Never. What?
That is not true.
How are you so well adjusted?
so my dad doesn't know what RTV is. He doesn't know when it's on. But all he knows is that it's a thing that he can get on and be internet famous. So he's on his way. So thanks, Ben.
It's like the same way you found Star Citizen.
Oh my gosh, what if your dad replaces you? What if the father replaces the son?
He's leaving the same night. He's coming in Friday morning at 7 and then leaving at 7 in the
The
evening.
thing you don't know is that your father's coming in for a job interview for your position.
I know.
And you're actually going to be going back.
Which ties right into my dream. I had a dream last night that I fired Disco Lando. I dreamed we were doing a live stream just like this, and I don't have work dreams.
Whereas I have nothing but work dreams.
We were doing a live stream just like this, and we were answering the questions, and then suddenly everybody but Hennessy was gone. And I look in the booth, and Hennessy's shrugging, and he's angry,
just like he's doing now,
just like right now. And so I can't read the thing because the print is too small, and I embarrassingly stumble through the rest of it, much like I'm doing right now. And I cut the live stream off 15 minutes early. I remember it was 11:46 a.m. I looked at the clock in the dream, and then I go over to the back of the set, and everybody is having a dance party. Allie and Jared and all the other people from the studio are having this weird celebration, and I just get so angry. And I'm like, you guys come to the office right now. And I'm just yelling at Jared and everybody. And Jared says something that he's something like, well, you don't even know how to fly the M50. And I'm like, that's it, you're done. And Allie is crying and begging.
Thank you, Allie, for having my back and
I feel like it's how it would play out, you know.
Was I dancing in your dream?
I don't remember you being in my dream, I'm sorry.
Well,
it's my favorite part.
No,
you haven't made it to Ben Dream level
I
yet,
haven't
Justin.
made it to Ben Dream level.
You have to be here at least a year before you make it to Ben Dream level.
I've had 2 work dreams in my life. The other was a year or so ago. I dreamed that James Pugh murdered me. Not intentionally.
Yes. I don't know
Why
what
do I
that's
feel like that could happen, though?
I dream about work every single night. I don't know what that.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know how that is.
Dreams.
I usually dream about submarines, malls, aquariums. I like being stuck in those things. I dream about chasing Sean Tracy around for some segment we need. I dream about trying to convince you to let me buy some giant foam whatever for the set.
These aren't dreams.
Yeah, I know. That's my point. The dreams are exactly like real life. It is just I just go to sleep and it just continues. It just my life continues when nobody can hear me. So it's just.
Well, that sounds like a nightmare.
You know.
That sounds like life. T.E. Foxy asks a status update on Org Drop 2.0. Org Drop 2. We just had a meeting. Was it last week? Or
2 weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago now. time just moves.
So there's some stuff coming.
There's some
We
stuff
don't have a
coming.
release date.
It looks very cool. If we get to accomplish half of it, it's going to be amazing. So, and Org 2.0 is much bigger. It's a whole revamp of our entire communications platform. So
Yeah, they're building their own forum stuff in-house, their own live chat.
yeah.
It's going to be good.
Glorious.
Jackknife wants to know, when Port New York is built, will it have a pizza joint?
Try and stop it.
Try and.
We know enough people at Behavior. I think we can probably make that happen.
We got connections.
Hey, Guillaume, where's the pizza place? All right, so let's move on to looking ahead. We got our last 4 minutes of the show here.
Oh my gosh, the show went so fast.
Yep. So, coming up, we're in the middle of the Miss Prospector sale. The Q&A post for that is now up, and it's been up the entire duration of the show in our official announcements section. I remember when Ben asked me, hey, can you make that thread? And I'm like, yeah, I'll make it here and I'll hide it here so that when we put the post up, I just have to remember to move it. He's like, sounds like a plan. But I also didn't know the sale was going to go on minutes before our TV. So that's going on. Put your questions in there. We're doing a question and answer on Wednesday and on Friday of next week. Next week's Monday is the last 10 for the chairman for a while. The last one we recorded with Chris Roberts while he's in the UK. That'll be replaced by 10 for the developers in the weeks following. But get your last helping of Chris Roberts in on Monday.
Last morsels of Chris Roberts.
His
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yes. Good. Do you want to say
I was wondering. if that was
Wednesday
gonna-
we've got our monthly subscriber edition of our TV. This month we are doing the audio team, including Pedro and Lee. Is there somebody else? Ross.
Yep. So the Lee Banyard and Russ Tregaza, two bigwigs on the Foundry 42 UK audio team, are here with us on Wednesday. Russ is the creator of the Big Benny's theme song, and they're joined from Portugal by Pedro, and we'll be taking questions for the audio team about the soundtrack and about the various music of Squadron 42. And Pedro has agreed to debut 2 pieces.
The world premiere.
One full piece that will be recognizable to those who play the game. You've just never heard it fully orchestrated before. And then one brand new piece that nobody's ever heard. He's promised to give us 30 seconds
Oh my god.
of that one.
So this is going to be a good one.
So that's going to be a good
a real
one.
good one.
So that's Wednesday, the 27th.
7th.
27th. I know dates.
One day after Alien Day.
And so we'll also have a thread up in the subscriber den
Yes.
later today.
Yep. Yes. And that's at 11 a.m. Pacific. I believe that's 1800 UTC
On Twitch.
on
Something
Twitch.
like that.
Yep. So you're going to want to check that out, whether you're a subscriber or not. It's going to be worth watching and listening
Listen.
to.
Ooh. Oh, I see what you did there.
The breakout of the Brian Chambers interview will go out next week, as will the latest Will Weisbaum Lore Maker's Guide next week.
Yes.
That was in ATV a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
ATV next week on Thursday we'll have Ship Shape with Josh Coons about the Drake Herald. You'll get to see the continuing development of that and a little bit on the inside and some of the animations, and it's very cool. Segment B might be Witch Glitch. We've heard tell that Witch Glitch is a thing that may be coming back to the show.
Maybe.
Tyler is learning some valuable lessons. Making shows is hard.
It is. Maybe.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Can I tell that story really quick?
Yes.
We did record Witch Glitch. We sat down last week, and it's actually really entertaining because I was there with we had David Pang on, senior animator, which is really exciting because he's just a character. And then we had Kat and Rob and Bearded, and I sat them all around the microphone. And I was like, all right, we need to do a mic check, make sure that nobody's peeking, make sure it's good. So everybody sat in their spots, and everybody spoke, and it was perfect. And so we're like, okay, let's do it one more time. Audio was perfect. And then we're like, all right, let's go ahead and start recording. So I start recording, and we do the episode. afterwards, I go back and I listen to it, and you can only hear me. I'm the only one talking. So I go back and I watch the video, and so we did the mic check. Everybody's heads are like right next to the microphone. And then as soon as I said, "All right, let's do it for real now," I pressed record, and everybody sat back. So the audio was dead. So we're gonna re-record it on today's Friday, on Monday.
Yep.
I went away. Anyways, we're gonna record it on Monday and hopefully get it into the episode. So.
Great.
And this time, people aren't gonna sit back.
So I'm a firm believer that sometimes the best lessons have to be learned the hard way. It's what makes sure you're never ever going to forget. You will never ever forget to make people sit up ever in your life. So it was worth.
Now I feel like now I'm gonna be watching them the whole time.
And Tyler was like so nervous about all of it. He's like, Justin, has this ever happened to you? I'm like, every day. It's fine. Don't even. He's like, okay.
There's a version of the Captain Richard's Wonderful World where I have a completely black beard, like he does. Yeah, so we have to redo segments from time to time because of glitches. But I sat there and I put mascara through my entire beard and in the gray in my hair and everything. So I looked exactly like Captain Richard, and we were just two of us on the thing. And
the best is when we have to redo ATV hosting, and Sandy always, when she comes to do the second time, like if a release comes out early or something, or we said something we didn't mean to, she remembers every moment from the script.
Oh my gosh!
Because she's a trained actress, so she remembers all the like interplay we would naturally do.
She remembers the improvisation.
Yeah.
We write the script, and then you guys go completely off the script. Then when we have to refilm the next day, she remembers. She goes off the script in all the exact same ways.
But I don't remember anything.
No. And it's like,
because I'm an idiot.
It's seriously impressive. All right, so that's been Reverse the Verse for Friday.
Speaking of seriously impressive,
April 22nd.
The other thing for next week is we don't have a release date, but we're pushing forward for 2.4 to PTU and hoping to get it soon. Hopefully, at least we'll have more information next week.
Hopefully.
But bye, everybody. We'll see you around the verse.
I'm Jared. That's Ben. That's Alexis. That's Justin. That's Tyler. And that's Hennessy. He's there. He's going to make it go to black right now.